Tell me about Jonah and the whale.
All right, well, you asked, I answer. So, this is part two. Now, I did say in part one that it was the largest salvation message as far as people getting saved in history. When you look at the New Testament and you have the day of Pentecost, where the Holy Spirit fell down in the upper room and all 3,000 men, or the men or whatever, thought the people in the upper room are drunk or whatnot. And then, the apostles stood up, made this statement, no, we're not drunk, we are filled with the Holy Spirit, and then preached about Jesus Christ, upon who they crucified, is resurrected, and saved them. They had 3,000 men get saved, with counting children and women. They're thinking it's more likely around 5,000 or 6,000 people that got saved. That is the largest conversion sermon recorded in the New Testament. But that is like a drop of water in the ocean compared to Nineveh's story with Jonah. When Jonah was actually kicked and spit back out, his skin would have been completely white. Most of his hair would have fallen out by then. His beard would have been gone. He would have looked ghostly, if you will. Now, when he went to Nineveh and preached, it is by historians, theologians, and scholars, even non-Christian believing theologians, have done the math, have done the figures, have looked at history, did all that good stuff, and they figured, counting all the slaves that Nineveh owned, because Nineveh was a massive metropolitan. It was like a New York City, right? So they had slaves, they had men, women, and children. They guesstimate that there was about 1 million people who got saved from this one sermon. 1 million. The largest conversion rate for any sermon ever preached in the history of the world. And to me, that is unbelievably awesome. It just blows my mind. 1 million people from one sermon. Now, the thing is that Nineveh did horrible, horrible things until the point of Hitler. Nineveh was considered the worst torturers of the Jews in the most unhumanistic ways possible. Or I can't remember if they were considered number one or they were within the top 3 until Hitler. They did some horrific stuff. You should Google it and look it up.